Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another session of our parenting book club. Just to revise a little bit, there was a bit of a break and we were doing the temperaments. We were seeing our children across the spectrum of different temperament measures. Where do they fall? And this was the homework given as well. I have seen Sister Javeria, mashallah, very way ahead. She did her homework and she has sent to me. I will see if Sister Faiza you can also do, and maybe let us know in the group. This will just give other people like some encouragement maybe to do something.
Yeah,
Uh,
inshallah, I missed the last class, so I
I
didn't do the
know,
homework.
I
I
know.
will, inshallah, try to do it, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. So basically, we were, you can catch up with the recording. There is a link in the group. But if you want, you can just ask in the group and I can show you again if you cannot find it. So I will give you a little bit of the review. We have been doing this like temperament. You can see here, the children are born with distinct traits that define their personalities, which we
Yeah.
say as like temperament. So, according to this, their temperament styles fall on a spectrum, and there were different attributes which we worked on. It was activity level, rhythmicity, approach or withdraw, adaptability, sensory threshold. Javeri, I think we have done until sensory threshold or quality of mood. Um, I remember quality of mood as well. Huh?
Uh, we were talking about quieter mood, but we didn't start. I guess we just read the heading.
Okay. Okay. So, Javeria, do you, if it's okay, I can give you this, to little bit brief, Sister Faiza, how we are doing this part, like how we are dividing, not dividing, like putting our children on a spectrum of different things, and then we'll start from quality of mood.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get you.
Can you just explain a little bit how we were putting our children on
Okay.
the spectrum, across the spectrum? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, first one was the activity level, and if a child is very physically active, so he would be on the highest activity spectrum. Then there were rhythmicity. I a bit forgot, but I remember what that rhythmicity meant the structured routines. Some kids follow routines willingly and they feel safe and they behave more appropriate if they spend a rhythmic, routine. So those kind of children would be high on spectrum. Then the third trait was how a child approach to a situation, new situation, or he willingly approach or happily approach or withdraw. So it was a short term, like short term situations like going to somebody new, somebody's new home or meeting some new people. So um, if he approach willingly and happily, that would be high on spectrum, I guess. And then the long-term approach was the adaptability. Some or maybe most of the children are sometimes low on short-term approach, but long-term they adapt to the new situations. Like transitions are good. And then there would be sensory threshold for external stimuli, and which uses all five senses, and the internal stimuli like emotional, which is emotional feelings you can say, or
Yeah,
anger,
emotion.
anything positive or negative.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
Thank you so much.
the sixth one is the quality of mood now.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, Sister Faiza, you must have a little bit of idea.
Yeah,
Like we put
Jazakallah
our
khair,
children.
Kathira. It was really helpful. Jazakallah khair.
Yakum. So this is how, if I may ask, how many children you have. Sorry. So you put each one of them different. Like you will have a paper, and you will put each one of them in a different categories. So, for example, my son Muhammad, I will put his name. Then I will put all these marks quality of mood, intensity of reaction, distractibility, and where is he in the spectrum. This is giving me an idea of him as a child, as a person. Also, we discussed this. This is not so easy to identify in young children because young children are who are 2 or 3. They are almost always all of them are active and hyper explorer. They are exploring things here and there. So as they grow up, it's more like we get more idea about their personality. Also, it tends to change from young to old one. But around 7 plus, 8 plus, it's almost like they will show you what type of personality they have. Then again, it's not fixed thing. The environmental factors and other things can help them, modify the things. But the as a parent, what we're learning is this is the innate nature of my child. So sometimes we really want our kids who are introvert to speak, speak, speak. Why he's not like this? Why he's not like others? Why is he shy? But instead of this, we realize this is how he is. Work on the strength, and this thing we will not take as a weakness. So this is the main idea why we are learning these things.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah. So inshallah, now we move forward, and I'll ask Sister Faiza to read because we missed this. Can you start from quality of mood?
Yes, sure. Okay, quality of mood. This spectrum describes the differences between children who are sunny in nature, high on the spectrum, compared to those who tend to be gloomy and sad, low.
Yeah. So like those children who are like as a person, or you will see they are mostly towards the sad spectrum or gloomy spectrum. Like they're not they get very upset easily, seeing little things. Maybe we can say like emotional. The other are not so much, but they are always like cheery disposition. Again, it can be variable if they are very young and can change now. But if you think of your children, put their names, and you can write it where in the spectrum each one of your child is. Because you didn't do with us the last one, so it's okay if you just after the session you can do this homework or sit down and
Yes,
put all
sure,
this.
inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah. Yeah. 0.7 now.
So, intensity of reactions. This describes the energy put forth in regarding to a situation, whether positively or negatively. Some children respond with a high level of intensity, while others are more subdued in how they respond. Shall I continue?
So yeah. Anything you want to discuss over here?
I
Any
think it's
Riveria or
quite
Faiza?
clear.
Hmm?
I think it's quite clear.
Yeah, it's quite clear. Exactly.
Yeah. Distractibility. This refers to how easily children can be distracted from what they are engaged in. Someone who remains focused despite distractions is someone who is low on this spectrum, while someone
Hmm.
who gets easily distracted by the environment is high on this spectrum.
Yeah, over here, if I again talk about very young children, so they can be, distractible easily because their brain is not yet developed their logical part. And once they're doing something and you see other people coming or something, they are easily distractible. Then we can think of neurodivergent children over here. These neurodivergent children have their brain chemistry different than the neurotypical ones. They also can show difference in the spectrum, but those children which are like very focused and not easily distractible, we will say now like it's very rare in terms of
Mm,
children and also adults. The studies are showing more and more attention span is decreasing, and people are getting more and more distractible. And there are so many studies and reasons for this, and the social media use and the reels and ever changing, we say shorts we see all the time. So the attention span is increasing so much. Like, people are not even watching the 1 minute video. They are even going as short, like, few seconds. So if I myself have seen this thing, like the way I used to read books before, is like I can sit at least for 30 minutes or something. Now in 15 to 20, I mean, this is the maximum I would say I can read. Otherwise, I would feel like I'm getting distracted. So there are more and more distraction in the world. nowadays. And for our children, they are, of course, the world is not changed for them. But we can still make our children, um, what I would say, focused or increase this muscle of them by keeping them away from gadgets as much as possible. So you will see difference in the children who are more on the gadgets and games as compared to those who are more into reading books and focus building activities like Lego making, blocks making. There is a change. So again, this is not a fixed thing. With neurodivergent children, yes, this is another point, but with other children, this can definitely be worked on.
Right.
Yeah.
Is the persistence. High persistence indicates a tenacity to stick with a project or idea despite challenges and obstacles. Low persistence indicates lack of patience to see a project or idea through when challenges arise.
Yeah, it's again like a resilience sort of thing, right? So the children who are more resilient, who are less resilient, then again in the young age group, because their logical brain is not developed, so they are not understanding this reason of failure, and they cannot make really sense. It's okay to lose or something like this. So it is advised that for very young children, they are not their brain is not meant to lose. So it's very normal for them to cry when they lose a game or something like this. When they make Legos and it breaks, when they draw something and it doesn't come up as they want to be. But as they grow up, we teach them resilience slowly, slowly, and also we model this in our daily actions. Again, there will always be like case in some children where it is the thing with them and they can't really help it, but we will give them the tools to cope with their life as they grow on. And then again, we keep in our mind neurodivergent children who should not be taken into the same category as neurotypical ones, so we can provide them more support.
Right.
I
Attention
think
span.
this list of traits gives
Uh-huh.
us hope. I think this list of traits we are discussing, it also gives us hope. Um, that it's not a fixed thing in a child,
Yeah.
as you are telling, that
Hmm.
the younger children behave differently, they have different traits. So
Hmm.
maybe we are triggered by some traits of our children.
Yeah.
Maybe they can grow out of it.
Yeah, they can. And another thing is, role modeling is very important. You will see, like, if you see a child who gets easily irritable, right, or has low threshold and sensitivity, so try to examine his surroundings. So, how the parents around him react, how the grown-ups around him react to the little things. And of course, this is more so when they were like very young. When we think they are not uh, they're not observing or something, but they are like very much getting into this. They see and then they copy as like when they grow up. So a calm parent, a calm household will create a calm child anyway. So, as I remember, discussed in the previous session, these traits are also for us to look into how am I as a person. For example, what is my attention span? What is my resilience? And because I'm grown up and because my brain is like, mature brain, I can work on myself. At least I should start working on myself and then my children, right? So we can also give us, for example, if we're writing about our children, then write one page for our own selves as well, and maybe our spouses if they come on the same page.
Yeah, that's a
And I
very
think that's
good
more important because I can already feel that these are not the things for my children. Probably these are for me as well.
Yeah, for us.
Yeah, I am also thinking that it would be a carbon copy of my traits, which I
Hmm.
am seeing in my
True.
children.
Definitely.
That's true.
Actually, almost always with the I would say like may not be always, but with my experience at least, at least the eldest one is the carbon copy of you basically because they have uh, absorbed everything, then second or third you may grow out of the things you learn parenting the other way, but the raw side of you is visible to your first one. So they are exactly mostly like you, and you realize it as they grow up. Ah, this is why I should change myself. Okay. Do you want to continue, Sister Faiza?
Sorry, sister, I have to leave now.
Okay, okay, that's
So
fine.
I
Yeah,
will
yeah.
keep it on and I will listen
Okay.
to it while
Yeah,
I'm driving. I can just
sure.
listen.
Sure, sure. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
So shall I start or Julia, do you want to start?
Whatever you say.
Okay, so you can start
I
now.
think, yeah, my kid would interrupt around, I
It's
think,
okay. My
2:15.
three are around me.
No, he's my is at school right now, but he would come
Ah,
around 2:15, I guess.
okay,
So I will now
do now.
from the
Yeah.
attention span. We I should start from attention span.
Yes, please.
I was thinking, what's the difference? I mean, it
Hmm.
isn't the other name for the distractibility.
Yeah, I feel the same. Let's read it and see if we
Yeah.
can extract any difference there.
This refers to the amount of time dedicated to an activity without interruptions. So someone with a high attention span is capable of devoting long periods of time to a project or idea without the need to take a break or do something else. A child with a low attention span needs to take breaks often and devotes short periods of time on an activity. Parents who share
So
similar temperaments with their children, yeah,
I was just, I was just pondering upon this with attention span and distractibility. What I
yeah,
can think is, of course, we will read it further, but with attention span, it is like a amount of time dedicated to an activity. For example, distractibility is the generalized thing. For example, I'm working and I always have thoughts in my mind, right? I am distracted easily. But
yeah.
attention span is when you are given one work. For example, I am given this task, this homework. For example, this
Mhm.
I'm preparing for my workshop. I am given this task. No one is distracting me. But how much time I can give to this? Like, am I able to give 30 minutes without any, like my own self distracting or my own attention span decreasing? People are not around me. They are not calling me or
Yeah,
something, but
yeah.
I
Now I
am
get
not,
it.
huh? I'm not able to give a time to
Yeah,
this, that. Yes, yeah, this is the thing.
yeah. This is the difference. Now I get it.
Hmm. So,
Um,
parents?
Parents who share similar temperaments with their children may have positive interactions and peaceful relationships. Okay. On the other hand, parents and children who exhibit temperaments on the opposing end of the spectrum may face conflicts and disappointments.
Hmm.
For
Because of the
example,
expectations.
an extroverted parent who is outgoing and talkative may feel there is something wrong with an introvert child
Hmm.
because the child does not engage with others.
Hmm.
Conversely, an introverted parent may be annoyed
Yeah.
and baffled by an extroverted child's behavior. Uh, when there is a mismatch in temperaments, parents may erroneously believe that they have to change their children. However,
Hmm.
parents that accept their children's inborn traits will focus on how best to interact with the children, leading to a more positive relationship.
Hmm. So this is what we were talking about, right? Because we are born and then raised and then grew up thinking this is what normal is. Like the way I am, this is the normal, right? So I
Yeah,
think we were never taught like people may have different temperaments. If you think of just your school days or something, you will see different children in your class. Some were very good in sports, some were good in debates and extracurricular activities. Some were very studious and just like this. So I always used to feel like, there is a sort of comparison why I'm not able to do speeches, why I'm not always on the stage, I can't go to the stage or something. And on the other hand, my friends or my sister can do this. Someone is so good in this and I'm not. So it was a comparison instead of even the parents are pushing, if one of my sister is so good in extracurricular activities and doing all the speeches and creative writings and I cannot, then they're like, okay, you can also do this. You can also do this, gently pushing lovingly. They are not like they
yeah.
mean bad. But it seems like this is not
Yeah,
right
they think
because,
it as a encouragement. Yeah,
yeah. Alhamdulillah, now we know. That's why I say, like, every knowledge, every step we are taking is like a blessing, you know. We may not be able to just correct ourselves now, just do the things right, but at least we have this knowledge which was not there before. So at least we can work on this. The generations to come will, inshallah, benefit.
Inshallah.
Yeah, you can continue.
So, uh, yeah, a child who, I mean, sorry, for example, a child who has a short attention span and has difficulty, uh, I think,
Sorry, I just
where it
lost
is?
it. Where we were? Isn't it? It is critical. You can see the screen?
No, no.
No?
Yeah, I can see the screen. A few lines above. Few
Uh,
lines above. Yeah.
Conversely?
Yeah, conversely, an introverted parent may
Okay.
be annoyed and baffled by an extroverted
Mm-hmm.
child's behavior. When there is a mismatch in temperaments, okay, we had
Okay,
already read this.
continue.
Parents may
Mm.
erroneously believe they have to change their children. However, parents that accept their children's inborn trait will focus on how best to interact with the children, leading to a more positive relationship. There is
Mm.
a flip side to this, I guess, also. When we
Mm.
want to see in our children what we are lacking or what we were lacking in our
Yeah.
childhood. So
Hmm.
we want to overcompensate that. If I am a shy
Hmm.
person in my childhood, I would make anything, make more efforts
Yes.
in comparison to any other parent to make my child confident, and I would, I would,
Yeah.
overdo it. Um,
Yes, yes, yes. That's also the case. You're very right. Because you know why? Because of this inner child inside us, which is not yet healed, and they have seen the
yes.
criticism, or we want to save our child from
It's
the
our
same thing.
try
Hmm.
to make ourselves or our children be more acceptable to the outer world.
Exactly, exactly.
The
Sisters, I'm
acceptance
just.
that we didn't get.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can speak. I'm just pausing the recording, and I'm coming back in 2 minutes. If you guys want, you can have a discussion. As I said, my child's tutor will be here, so I'm just coming in 2 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah. So we were discussing how we were trying to overprotect our children or do our best for them not to feel uh, the same way we have felt as a. So it's mainly about our inner child, right?
Yes. Someone else wants to, read other paragraphs?
Sister Sadia is with us now. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Sadia. I'm not sure.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you? It's good to see you.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. Same here.
Sister, welcome. And do you want to read? Do you want to start reading?
Okay, I'll.
Okay, so we are reading from here. It is critical.
Okay. Is it page number 44 or 40?
Um, so you have, I'm sorry, I'm not using a book at the moment.
Okay, okay,
Uh,
okay. I will read from here. Okay, no problem.
yes, thank you. It is critical.
Yeah, it is. Okay. If it is critical to emphasize here that even though temperament styles are inborn, parents are able to help their children learn skills to complement their temperaments for a better life through awareness and practice. For example, a child who has a short attention span and has difficulty with homework can be told that this is an area of challenge and is encouraged to practice focusing on homework for short periods of time using a timer. A
Mm.
child who has a low threshold for stimulation is made aware of that dynamic and is taught how to establish boundaries to minimize undue exposure to stimuli. Through awareness and practice, children can utilize their inborn temperament styles as areas of strengths. Parents play a critical role in this process. Take a moment to reflect on where your child falls along the temperament spectra. Compare and contrast your child's ratings with yours. Following these reflections, what decisions would you make to help your child identify and manage temperaments? What decisions would you make to minimize the mismatch between both of your temperaments?
Thank you so much. So this last paragraph was really, really, profound. As we discussed, it is not about like they cannot change, but it is also not about changing them. Like I really like this example of reduced attention span for the homework. In our Desi household, what can I think of? A child who is not able to do this, we're like pushing and we are shaming them, right? You can't even sit for 30 minutes. When I was a child, I used to do, and we used to mention this so many times, the way we were raised, the way our examination system was. We used to write so much, and these children cannot. Yes, there is one thing, like the world is changing and everything, but I can see, like, just reading this, I can see my two children, at the older one, I do not consider the young one as so much at the moment, but my eldest, he just hates to write. And my middle one, he can write for hours and hours and hours. He just he's just the way he is, So he can sit down, he can write, he can drawing. This is the way he is. And I have to struggle with my eldest. Making him sit and do a work for 5, 10 minutes is a problem. Then how we first make them understand as they grow up, as I said, as they are 7 plus, 8 plus, it's very, very um, I think realistic to talk to them directly about what their strengths are, what they can improve, and where they can ask help for. I also like this example of boundary setting. Some children do have very high sensory stimuli and they cannot really bear the crowded places. Then, when you are going out, for example, to the park or maybe play area, you have 3, 4 children, maybe your friend is going with you, and this one particular child shows tantrums, is just maybe crying for no reason or maybe not engaging, and you are, instead of understanding, telling them, how come you are not happy here? I bring you here like for you, and look, all the children are having fun, and you are the one who is just being very difficult. You are not understanding. Actually, the child cannot help it because this is the high stimulus area for him. So if you understand this, you will make your child understand as well. And if, like, for example, if they know and you know, and there is some family gathering or something, you can very gently excuse your child. He may not need to go to these crowded areas. This is very important for you to be able to take stand for your child and for your child to know you are here with them. As they grow up, they develop this boundary for themselves. For example, they are in crowded places, they know what to do, when to do. And now we have other things for children as well, the what they're called, sound, I'm forgetting the word. So they really minimize the sounds around this is used for neurodivergent children. um so any reflection, sister, for this paragraph? Anyone wants to say anything? Without it. um if Okay, if anyone doesn't want to say anything over here, it's okay. But yes, Sister Sadhya,
I
you want to say
think,
anything?
uh,
Yes.
I think, Ruth, there is a problem that every mother faces is
Uh-huh.
that we actually don't know to identify the main problem. Either
Uh-huh.
is it a short span, or we actually don't focus on finding out the problems. We are more
Huh.
focused towards the end results. We are not
Huh.
focused on managing or working through it, because if we look into our Desi households, especially
Exactly.
in
Huh.
Pakistan, there is so much workload on mothers,
Yes.
that we hardly get time to understand the child needs. We only focused right if I'm talking about right now. Right now I'm sitting with my kids, making them do their homeworks. So
Uh,
it is difficult. It is a hardest task of the day to
hmm.
make every kid complete their work,
Yeah.
because every kid is different, but mom don't have time for each kid separately.
Yes.
So we
Yeah,
have
that's true.
to deal all of them at one time with one strategy.
Hmm. That's right, too. And we are, as you said, we are more towards the fixing the things, right? And
Yeah,
controlling. We just want fix.
yeah,
We do not have time enough. This is there are two things. One is, yes, because of you're right, the burden mothers are facing. They are so much busy or so much occupied that they have no time for their children, which was their actual work, to bring up the children, like to nurture them. They don't have time for them. Secondly, from the culture we are, it's kind of, automated in our brains. Like a child is doing something, I have seen like, why would I waste 5 to 6 minutes in, discussing, oh, what are you feeling, or this or that, or like, let's talk about, rather than, just snap, or let's just get up and you do this, and they are controlled, right? And your work is done, and you're saving your time. We are like on autopilot because of, I think, again, I would say the generational effects, like our parents were and their parents were. We are not getting anywhere with this thing. Now, this is why we say we are like cycle breakers. We must break this cycle. And how can we do this? Yes, I say this again and again, and I agree with this. If there is one thing anyone can do for like good of this generation, for their betterment, this is to empower mothers. This is to help mothers. Mother's main job is not cooking, cleaning, or doing, you know, so many things. It's about their children. Mentally and physically, they should be relaxed enough to spend time with their child. While saying this, I am not even there myself. Like, of course, like staying in the Western world, and you don't even have house help here. And then you have to go for, school runs and this and that, and dealing with the sick children, and you have zero energy left. You have no energy left. But what we can do, we can take small steps. Once there are two approaches to anything, na? When we read something or we get any information, like I remember someone has said to me, like, we do read all this and want to apply, but it seems like it's all in the book. It cannot come out in the practical ways. Exactly, all the things cannot come into the practical life as it is straight away, but something can at least, right? So, as they said towards the end, compare and contrast your child. Following these reflections, what decisions would you make to help your child identify and manage temperaments? What decision would you make to minimize a mismatch between both of your temperaments? You can give yourself this task in 1 week time. Until the next session, I will find out any 15-20 minutes to sit down. If I have 3 children, 4 children, I will write their names. I will mark them in the spectrum. I will do the same with me, and I will see where we are. You will not say, I will try to help him. I will try to manage this thing. No, one step at a time. I can tell you from my experience, like we have to take the first step, no matter how small it is. Only then we are going somewhere. What is famously said, the journey of 100 miles begin with a single step. But when we feel like overwhelmed with the knowledge and overwhelmed with our so much work, we don't want to do anything. So it all starts first with ourselves, like we were talking about healing our own inner child. Take a small step, and then, as I mentioned in every session, use this group as a somewhere, some place you can vent, some place you can seek help. You can just say like, I'm not able to do this work I wanted to do, but I'm feeling so overwhelmed, so overworked. Please help me. And of course, we moms are there. We are creating this community so we can help each other. There should be in-person communities as well. We are lacking the village these days. The people around us, rather than helping, they are more into judgmental state. So we need people who help us, who consider mom, as a person who needs rest as well. And from there on, just keep this in your mind. I will take one step, whatever is easy for you, to understand myself and to understand my children. Not today, but just imagine yourself as in the beginning of the book, our task was your parenting goal. And then the second task was about 15 character traits you want to see in your adult child. So just close your eyes, imagine your child after 10 years, or after 5 years, or after 15 years as grown up adults, and then imagine your little efforts you are putting each day. They will definitely, inshallah, bring the fruit. You will not see it now, but the only thing which I warn parents of is, don't give up. Don't feel like, I am not able to do this and that's it. Because I have seen such parents who feel like it's so difficult, let the life be as it is. But then where is life is not meant to be a bed of roses anyway. It is a test, right?
Gaurav, I want to add something
Mm-hmm.
that you mentioned earlier that we don't have time to sit and communicate with the child that what are you feeling and that.
Uh,
Uh, um, few years ago when I don't know about this that there are feelings in ourselves and we
mm,
don't
mm,
until we don't name them
mm,
we don't understand them. When I got into the therapies and all that, then I came
mm,
to know. And afterwards, obviously, at that time, my kids were above 5 years at that time.
mm-hmm.
So afterwards, whenever I used to sit with my any of the kid and want to say that it's
Listen.
okay or how are you feeling, they don't listen. They
Mm,
just say, okay, how many times you will say this and doesn't matter, and they get up and leave.
mm,
They don't even
mm,
sit because
mm.
I couldn't do it in their early years.
Young age.
So now so now they don't listen.
Mm. Okay, so with this thing, okay, first of all, yes, you haven't done in their early years. Doesn't mean you can't do it now. The way they are treating you or the behaving is maybe first, for example, I'm just giving you a rough example, and it could not be the case, but just to give you an example, when you are going outside, um, you see some people like they are hurt or anything like this. You stop and talking to them. um okay, how are you feeling, how your day has been and stuff like this. They will feel like, who are you to ask me or stuff like this. I don't know you, why should I be open with you, or just dismiss you. What do I mean by this is the connection should be there first. The connection, how can you build this, is just be with them, but do not ask them anything. If they are saying anything, if they are talking to you, if they're sharing anything, because I think your children are into teens or preteens.
They are preteens.
Yeah, so this is a very difficult age. They are going toward adolescence. There is hormonal changes coming. At this stage, a child does not really want to. They feel everything as a lecture is giving to them, or maybe we are trying to, dismiss whatever they are feeling. The main focus of yours can be just be with them and listen to them if they are sharing anything. When you are around them, even you are not saying them anything, but showing this genuine connection, they know, even if they do not readily admit, this is the one person I can go to, and this is the one person I can rely on. Secondly, how you are role modeling in front of them. Yes, it happens. um, Emotions are there, feelings and there, but how you are modeling in front of them for your own self also. How genuinely are you taking your own emotions? How much value you are giving to them? And third thing is, because you are doing this in front of them, but the other members of family, or maybe the spouse or the in-laws or whatever, they may not be on in the same page. So what I have seen usually is when children think like my mother is the only one, who talks about these things, and the other people are like opposite, they do get confused. But the fact that they are like talking to you, oh, don't talk to me or whatever, they are able to say these sentences in front of you means they still know you are their safe space, because they are relying on you to say this even. What will happen is slowly with the time, when they say, see, you are around them, you are present with them, and you are listening to them. You are not offering them any solutions, okay? And you are not offering them any talk or any such discussion which they have not asked for yet. Why? Because they are into preteens. They are not young ones. Young ones need us in another way. They want us to, come and hug or anything. Yes, you can still sit with your preteen child, hold their hands, maybe hug, maybe give a kiss, but maybe keep your words to minimal and just let them know I'm here for you. Slowly, slowly, inshallah, they will realize this. And children who know the parents and their mothers as a safe space, they know they can come to her no matter what, even if they are not showing it. So just be safe space for them. I hope it is helpful.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, Jazakallah. I do not want to start the innate strength topic because it's a topic in its own, and we are short of time, almost 5 minutes left. What we will do is, as a task again, let every one of us do this task. We'll see all these spectrum traits and put our children in the spectrum. Read this chapter again, go through the recording of the previous one as well. Put your child in each spectrum. At least before the next session, we should know about each of our child where they fell in the spectrum, where they fall in the spectrum, high or low. And we will do this without judgment, okay? And as I said, those who has very young children, like 2, 3, 4, and yes, of course, the newborns, the toddler infants, they won't be able to judge it yet. So maybe just leave this child, maybe do 5 plus, 6 plus, and it can change. Then do yours as well, where you are. And then we will ponder upon this last question of the author. What decisions would you make to minimize this mismatch? And what decisions would you make to help your child identify and manage their temperaments? If you have like Sister Sadia has a preteen child, they are mashallah intelligent enough that you can even sit with them and do it with them. And they will tell you where they are in their spectrum. And you will talk to them. These are your strengths, and these are the things which are not so your strength, but we can work on. And these children can become you like sort of your companions, when you I have seen this, when you forget something, they remind you. So if, for example, maybe your child has a short attention span, they're not doing homework, and maybe you are overworked, and you just yelled at them, and they will remind you, oh, mama, I do not have this good span of doing work. But also because when we do not let children, because since very young age, we do not have brought them in the same way. So sometimes the children do learn to manipulate. Set your boundaries very well with them. Yes, it is the thing, but I'm your mother and I will deal with it. I will teach you, and let them also face the consequences of some things, like, for example, if they're not doing homework or something. Having the low attention span does not mean you are not doing this. You are managing it in a different way. If it's a 1 hour work and you can only do 20 minutes, then set an alarm 20, 20, 20, take a breaks in between, but learn to manage it. Because, of course, you are going to adult life and you will have to do the things. Then again, I will say the education system in Pakistan and this country is also like another topic where we are doing things with the children which are not realistic. Anyways, so this is all about today's session. I hope it was helpful. I know Sister Faiza is also picking her child, and Sister Javeria has gone to pick the child as well. So maybe they are not able to discuss anything. Sister Faiza, do you want to say anything? Sorry, Sister
Raghuram
Sadia.
might be around.
Okay, Sister Faiza is
I
here.
was driving and I was just listening to this. I will inshallah read through it and do the task. It
Yeah,
is actually very beneficial. I just wished I read this book earlier. I wish, you know,
yeah. Okay, okay,
so much
inshallah.
to think about. It's very reflective.
Sorry, I couldn't hear the last thing clearly.
Sorry, I said, it's very reflective. There's
Yeah,
so much
Jazakallah.
to think about.
Yeah, so much to think about. Exactly. So, inshallah, the main task is for us to be able to understand our children well, so we can help them well, we can nurture them well, inshallah. Thank you so much for your time, sisters. You were busy, but you take it out, and I'm really hoping, inshallah, we'll all do this homework together.
To you, sister, you are giving us this platform to benefit from it. May Allah make it a sadaqah jariyah for
Ameen.
you. Jazakallah.
Ameen. Ameen. Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair for your very kind remarks.